Let's walk through the electrical system on the Bonafide SS127. Now this is a system that I installed. It doesn't come stock with this, but this is probably the easiest electronics install you can do on a kayak if you're not like an electrician or something by trade. Yak power system is absolutely easy. Now, what you have to start with is a control box if you're going to do a multi-switch system like I did. So I bought the control box. Now that is inside here. So I have it in the front hatch. I don't have it mounted up like I normally would because I wanted you to see all the components. So this is the control box here. Now this has got the switching system built into it, so I can have on 5 different channels or just 1 channel or 2 channels, and I can select all of that. Now where you do that selection would normally be right here. So on this unit you can select channel 1, channel 2, bow, midships, or stern. Okay, so you've got all of those that you can turn on and off. Now the biggest bonehead mistake that I made is the first one of these that I installed. I actually called the owner and I said, John, this is not working right for me. I can't get it to turn on. And he said, well, is the head coming on? Like, do you get color? And I'm like, yeah, I can press the power button and it turns white. But when I hit the power on my electronics, they don't come on. My fish finder won't come on. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. He said, you have to activate the channel. So what that does is that keeps your battery from draining. So if none of your channels are active, these can't draw electricity from your battery until that channel is activated. It's kind of like opening the floodgates. So what you have to do is you have to select, okay, my fish finder's on 1. I select 1. It turns red. That lets me know that channel is hot. And then I'm good to go, and I can power up my fish finder and it'll come on. And then I'm able to do what I need to do with it. So you got to remember, make sure the number is red or the letter is red, or else it's not going to light up. All right, so let me turn that off for a second. Now back to this. So this is going to come with 5 relays that are going to come off of it for the 5 different channels. Now you'll notice this box. This box right here is something that you can add on. And actually any of this you can add on. You don't have to have the 5 switcher system. You can just do the plug and play stuff for just putting in a light or battery or something like that. But what I've done is I've added a remote relay. So what this allows me to do is I can use this guy right here, and I don't have to get up and press these buttons when I want to turn them on and off. I can hold this in my hand and hit the buttons and it will turn them on and off. This is a great add-on. Like I can't tell you how happy I am since I've added one of these to it. Usually what I do is I keep this lashed to my chair in the kayak, and it's always there when I need it, and I can activate the buttons. You don't have to do that if you wanted to put the relay head, closer to the seat. My biggest worry is that when I've done that in the past with other switches and units like that, my big old size 12s tend to bust up switcher panels. So by mounting it up here, it's out of the way. It's completely out of the way of everything, keeps it safe, and I don't have to worry about it. Now the other thing that you'll see in this hatch, as I move that stuff away, is a Yak power box. So you can make your own boxes and things like that, but I wanted a box that I could charge without having to move my batteries out. I wanted a box that I could just put in, hook up with 1 wire, and be done with. And so I've been using the Yak power box. The 12 volt 8 amp hour batteries that you can get, the deer feeder batteries, you can fit 3 of those in this box, and it actually has the relays to hook them all up. So you can get a whole lot of juice stacked into this Yak power box. If you wanted to use lithium ion batteries or something like that, you can fit even more of them in there, but it's only got the relays for 3. So that shows you kind of the guts. Now let's show you what I've done with them. I'm going to latch that back. Now, just like we're getting into the kayak for the first time in the day, I need to hit my power button. We got to make sure these are white. That lets me know that my relay is ready. Now the rest of it I'm going to do from the remote. So I need to turn on my fish finder. My fish finder is number 1, so I'm going to hit 1 on my remote. It lights up red here, and then that allows me power. I've also installed some lights, so you can see these button lights. I have these here and here, and then again in the back tank well. That's basically just if I'm fishing at night, I can put a bait on the ground and see what color it is, or read a label, or tie a knot, or whatever I need to, without just being glaring and blinding everybody I'm fishing with. So if I wanted to turn those lights on, I'd hit M for midships, and then these lights will come on. And so I've got those. Those are also in the blue. Now, if we move a little bit further back, then wired up to the stern, the S on the remote, are my stern lights, and so I've got those here and here. That allows me to see whatever's in my tank well. So if I'm looking for a box of baits or a bag of baits or something back here turned around, I can see that. That helps me out with that. And then to turn them off, you just hit the button again. It turns them off. We can walk back up and we'll turn off our midship lights, and we can even turn off the fish finder if we want to from here. And that cuts power completely. So a little remote's really handy. The Yak Power system is super easy. Like, there's not a solder on the entire thing. Probably the hardest thing to do is to convince yourself to drill in with a hole saw the 2 1/8 inch hole that you need to put this control switch into the plastic.